Great Western mom. I have 2 boys here, and when I share with other families about my kids, I kind of compare it to a homework assignment. Before and after, compare and contrast. Kind of what your kiddos do for homework. Only I could not have predicted what my son's future was going to be. Not yet, kids. Don't cry yet. I'm not going to cry. Like I said, I have 2 boys here. They're in 5th and 6th grade. This is our 2nd year at Great Western. I would really like to tell you a little bit about my boys before at our old school. And let you know that if we wrote a book about our story, it could literally be entitled, "What a Difference a Choice Made." My youngest son, you know, he's a quiet kid. And you guys know what I'm talking about, who doesn't just blend into the crowded classroom, he disappears in the crowded classroom. He never asked a question at his old school. He was never called on. And on the rare case that he was, he didn't know the answer. He couldn't come home and tell me about his day. He started failing tests, and I mean every test, be it reading, be it spelling, be it math. He bombed it. And so I did what most moms do. I called the teacher and I said, "Hey, could we sit down and talk?" And I heard a statement that a lot of moms of boys hear. Boys just take longer. They take longer to learn, but don't you worry, because we're going to get them caught up. While they were getting him caught up, he fell 3 grade levels behind. He would come home and say, "Mom, I'm stupid." Stupid became worthless. Nothing I did mattered. Because 8 hours a day, he didn't know what he was doing. My older boy, which I may really cry about, he loved learning. He loved reading. But he had some challenges that he knew he had and he knew he faced and was very aware that his teachers knew it too. They never let him forget. He was encountered with statements like, "You will never get a right answer unless I help you." And those kids over there, they're not your friends. They're just good with you. One day, I was walking down the hall. I just happened to look at my son's room. And my next memory is me sitting in the floor because my son was covered in blood. He was 8 and he wanted to die. So after a long night in the emergency room, my 8-year-old was diagnosed as clinically depressed. And I came home and I just said, "I gotta do something. What do I do?" See, I didn't know I had a choice. I didn't know what to do. So I do what a lot of us do when we want to figure stuff out. I went on the internet. And I typed in my zip code and local schools and all night. I never went to bed that night. And I stumbled on Great Western Academy. And very frankly, I knew it was a school. I was kind of under the misconception that it was a Columbus City school. But I read so many positive parent comments about this school. So I said to myself, you know what, I'm just going to show up there tomorrow. And that's what I did. I showed up and told them I'd like to walk around, see your school, maybe talk to somebody. Sure, no problem, we'll call somebody and we'll gladly do that for you. And in just the few minutes I waited for somebody, I saw teachers encouraging students, students encouraging other students. And I knew by the end of my time that this was a safe place and that my boys could begin to heal here. So I signed them up. And I'll tell you about my boys today. My older son, who wanted to die, loves school. He's in his uniform, 45 minutes early every morning. He walks out of school dancing because he was the only 6th grader to get 100% on a reading assignment. And I mean dancing and saying, "I did it, Mom, I did it." And right behind him, dancing along with him, was his teacher. He did do it. He's awesome. And my son said, "Yeah, I am." 2 years. What a difference my choice made. My little quiet guy who couldn't tell me about his day, who couldn't pass a math test, got a 27 out of 30 last week on a math test. Yeah! And he was so happy. And he said, "Mom, do you think that earns me a Happy Meal?" I said, "I think it earns you 10. You know, he's happy. He looks forward to every day. And you know what? He said, "I'm pretty smart, huh, Mom?" I said, "Yes, you are. Yes, you are." Now think if I didn't have a choice. Think if I didn't have a choice. I don't believe my son would still be with us if I didn't have a choice. You know, I sleep a whole lot better now, guys. I breathe a whole lot better. I don't worry anymore, and neither do my kids. And that's the reason why we've got to keep our choice. We're trusted to pick our child's pediatrician. We're trusted to not feed our children things that are going to harm them. We're even trusted to share our belief system with them. Why are we not trusted to choose where our kids go to school? I'm just floored by that. You know, House Bill 1 that was passed in 2009, it affects community schools in such a negative way. It puts parent choice at risk for thousands of students in our state. Think about that, thousands of students. Most notably though, what I like to call the stinker is the community school closure provision, which does not apply to traditional government-operated public schools. It discriminates against urban students who often enter our community schools well below grade level to begin with. For schools that offer any grade, 4 through 8, I'm going to talk a little shop. For any school that offers any grade 4 to 8, but no higher than 9th grade, the law requires closure if the school has been an academic emergency for 2 of the 3 most recent school years and showed less than 1 standard year of academic growth in reading or in math for at least the last 2 of the 3 most recent years. This standalone policy ignores the level of student turnover year to year, the reality that abrupt closure may result in children returning to even worse performing schools, and that students enter our schools well below grade level to begin with. We all want what's best for our kids, and I don't know about you, but I definitely embrace accountability in my school. But criteria should be applied consistently across all public schools and provide for corrective actions to be taken before any school is closed. And on a personal note, if our schools close, my kids will be affected forever, and so will I. Because if you think we deserve a choice and somebody doesn't, tell them my story and tell them what a difference one choice one parent made